Hi everyone! Okay, it's November already, so I have bought a pile of books again, as I do every month, and these are the ones that I've picked up this month to add into my ever-expanding to-be-read pile. So the first one is by Malcolm Archibald, and it's called Bloody Scotland. So the blurb says, in the 19th century, Scotland was renowned as a land of misty glens, engineering innovation, and inventive genius. But it was also the home of brutal murder, terrifying riots, cruelty to children, bank robbery, and acid attacks. Women as well as men were capable of horrendous acts, and crime could strike anywhere, at home, on the road, or even at sea. Now, as I've said before, I do like to mix in non-fiction with fiction books, so I have a large selection of fiction books on the go. I find true crime stories very interesting. I like to watch them on TV, and I do like to read a lot about them. So I thought this would be right up my street, so I picked that up, and hopefully it's going to be good. Next, I picked up Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill. I am currently reading Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. So I thought I'd give this one a go as well while I was at it. So I think this is a fiction works in sort of gender roles and things like that. On the blurb it says, Eves are designed, not born. The school trains them to be pretty, the school trains them to be good. The school trains them always to be willing. All their lives the Eves have been waiting. Now they are ready for the outside world, companion, concubine, or chastity. Only the best will be chosen, and only men decide. I was drawn to this because it reminded me of the storyline of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, where women were put into different roles by men, and the men would pick where they went and what they did. So whether they were made to be a prostitute, or whether they were made to be a wife, or things like that, they were all chosen by men. And that book really stuck with me, and I've reread it a couple of times over the years since I first read it. After just saying that, I've just seen on the front it says Mean Girls meets The Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, it seems to be the same sort of thing. So I'm hoping that's good. Next up, I picked up Stranger Child by Rachel Abbott. I recently read Sleep Tight by Rachel Abbott, and it was an absolute page turner. I couldn't put it down, and as Sleep Tight was so good, I couldn't wait to pick up something else from her. So I got Stranger Child. It says, when Emma Joseph met her husband David, he was a man shattered by grief. His first wife had been killed outright when their car veered off a road. Just as tragically, their 6-year-old daughter mysteriously vanished from the scene of the accident. Now, 6 years later, Emma believes the painful years are behind them. She and David have built a life together and have a beautiful baby son, Ollie. Then a stranger walks in their lives, and their world tilts on its axis. Emma's life no longer feels secure. What really happened to David's family all those years ago, and why does she feel so frightened for herself and her baby? When a desperate Emma reaches out to her old friend DCI Tom Douglas for help, she puts all their lives in jeopardy. Before long, a web of deceit is revealed that shocks both Emma and Tom to the core. They say you should never trust a stranger. Maybe you're right. This just draws me in. It sounds like it's going to be a really good, tense thriller. And if a last book is anything to go off, it'll have loads of suspense in it as well, which I do like. And I'm hoping that it's as much of a page turner as Sleep Tight. But yeah, I'd never heard of Rachel Abbott until Sleep Tight popped up in my Amazon recommended list. So I thought, give it a go. And if this book's as good as the last one, then I will be buying more. Next up, we've got The Sisters by Claire Douglas. This says, after a tragic accident still haunted by her twin sister's death, Abby is making a fresh start in Bath. But when she meets siblings B and Ben, she's quickly drawn into their privileged and unsettling circle. As Abby tries to keep up with the demands of her fickle friends, strange things start to happen. Precious letters go missing, and threatening messages are left in her room. Is this the work of the beautiful B, or is Abby trying to go to any lengths to get attention? I was drawn to this because it says perfect for fans of The Girl on the Train, which I thought was a brilliant read earlier on this year. So I don't know too much about this book because I haven't seen anything written about it. I've never heard it mentioned before. I just saw it and picked it up on a whim. So I'm going to be giving that a go as soon as I can get around to it. And I'll let you know if it's any good. The final book that I've picked up is The Ship by Antonia Honeywell. This is a futuristic novel, and I haven't read a lot of futuristic novels. I previously had it in my head that I didn't really like that genre, but then after giving a couple of futuristic novels a go, it turns out I do actually like that genre after all. So I thought I'd give this one a go. The story sounds really gripping in this one. It says, Oxford Street burned for 3 weeks. The British Museum is occupied by ragtag survivors. The Regent Park's camps have been bombed. The Nazareth Act has come into force, and if you can't produce your identity card, you don't exist. Lala, 16, has grown up sheltered from a new reality by her visionary father, Michael Paul. But now the chaos has reached their doorstep, and Michael has promised to save them. His escape route is a ship big enough to save 500 people, but only the worthy will be chosen. Once on board, as day follows identical day, Lala's unease grows. Where are they going? What does her father really want? And what is the price of salvation? So I think this sounds like it'll be quite a claustrophobic read, because if they're all stuck on a little ship and it's going to be there's no escape sort of thing. So I'm really intrigued to find out more about this and get more into the futuristic sort of genre than I previously have done. So yeah, that's my book haul for this month, and if you've read any of them, let me know if they're any good. Thanks for watching. Bye.